工作7天，早上是从6点半开始上班，上到晚上的12点以后有的加通宵，有的加到2点、4点。
这都是什么玩具啊？
这都是迪士尼的狗仔啊，还有公仔。
Child labor laws were put in place to protect children. Sweatshops today still exist. Asia has over 61% of child laborers. The United States, small, yet still has some sort of child labor at 2%. The world you thought you knew is not as it appears. Not very many people are aware of sweatshops and where products mostly
Men
come
ni ska
from.
köpa någon leksak, vad tänker ni på då?
Att det ska vara rolig, att den ska vara fin. Ja, fin. Ja.
Var tror ni att leksakerna är tillverkade? Det som gör det?
I andra länder eller alltså.
Tomtens verkstad.
Något asiatiskt land av, av alldeles för unga barn kanske, jag vet inte.
Child labor to me, it gives me bad memories. It gives me a bad taste in my mouth because to put a child in a situation where he could potentially harm his or herself is already unlawful.
Ja. Halloween har ju, som vi alla vet, kommit från USA. Det är ju här för att stanna. Det är ju populärt någonting annat. Och då, masker är ju en sak. Då har kinesen tänkt till så de har lagt lite ljusdekoder i här så att det ska lysa upp.
Hur ligger lönenivåerna för de som arbetar i er produktion?
Inne i Kina, det är ju billig arbetskraft. Annars skulle alla produktion ligga där borta, så självfallet är det så. Om det är någonting att spara och leva på äldre dagar, det tror jag inte.
Hur mycket av produktionen här kommer från Kina?
Sortiment som man har till hösten så kommer 95% ifrån Kina.
The farm industry basically is where most teens go to work, and it's actually one of the most dangerous industries to work in, and hundreds of kids die from it every year.
In Europe, we spend more than $20,000 billion on toys and games every year. A large part of these toys are bought at Christmas time. But who makes these toys?
När jag var liten fick jag reda på att det var barn som gjorde de här leksakerna på McDonalds. Då ville inte jag ha dem längre. För att det var andra barn som gjorde det. Jag tror det var vuxna eller maskiner som gjorde det. Så jag vill inte ha McDonalds längre. McDonalds-leksaker. Fast annars skulle jag fortsätta köpa dem.
In August 2000, it was revealed that one of the factories making toys for McDonald's employed child labor.
These kids working in these mills, you see it every day in the papers. I mean, it's a real life thing. You die from it, or you can. It's present here in America. It's present in Asia. 61% of child labor is in Asia. Sweatshops. Now, as a young teen myself, a sweatshop to me is about the worst thing you could do to a child.
See what I'm saying? They gotta use like tractors and hoes to hit the dirt and whatnot, and you know, it's very dangerous.
Nike owns several sweatshops across the country. Your civil duty is to stand up, protest, stand against sweatshops and child labor. There are 28 organizations out there to help protect from children in the field of dangerous work. Most people don't know this. Most people don't see this. They are also making organized efforts to boycott items made from sweatshops.
The factory was situated in China, where most of the world's toys are made. We decided to go there and investigate the current conditions in the toy factories.
There are several websites that tell you where these items are coming from, if they're made from sweatshops. They follow it very closely. But as you all know, not very many people are educated on this, so not very many boycott this, because no one wants to buy stuff buy items made from a sweatshop.
Poor working conditions at the McDonald's supplier. His name is Parry, and he has studied conditions in the toy industry for several years.
Child labor is unacceptable because you can't have some little kids just running around and trying to build like a train. It's unacceptable. And the environment is unsanitary, so your kids are just gonna die. So, and possibly get pregnant. So I would not let them ever work in that kind of environment. So no, it is unacceptable.
This is Hong Kong, and what you can see here is the Victoria Harbour, and opposite side of here is the central business district of Hong Kong. All the big toy companies all have their office here.
Formerly a British colony, Hong Kong was reunited with China in 1997. Hong Kong still retains a degree of autonomy, enjoying more freedom and democracy than the rest of China. Here, toys are sold to buyers from all over the world.
The pirate ship is available in Sweden.
In what shops can you find it?
Is any BL shop in Sweden? Or ICA? ICA, yeah? And Holland as well.
What sort of things are the buyers interested in?
Buyer normally interested in pricing.
You may not know what products are made in sweatshops, but there have been others who have made an effort to make these known. There are several websites that you can visit.
Mainland China.
We have to understand what is the impact for the worker. The first impressions may be the workers can get a job. It's better than to be unemployed. But we have to ask what kind of job they can have. Is this a decent one? Really can help their life or help their family? Or the kind of job that can really make their life even worse?
An hour's drive from Hong Kong takes us to Shenzhen, the nearest town on mainland China. We are travelling as tourists because the Chinese authorities would never give us permission to film as we intend to. Development has progressed very quickly here. 25 years ago, there were only fields and small villages in this region. This is where most of what we buy is manufactured, from clothes and shoes to games, computers and toys.
I actually have a report here. In 2010, 51 adult and teen workers became engulfed in grain during accidents at grain facilities. 26 workers died, including Wyatt Whitebread, 14 years old, and Alex Pacas. He was 19. These deaths were described in the Times article in August 2011 as well. Oklahoma teens Tyler Zander and Bryce Gannon, both 17. Each lost a leg in a grain sugar accident. These accidents are proof that child labor still exists today. Very dangerous.
During the lunch break in Mr. Lai's factory, two women support another woman who has just fainted.
Some of the workers want to save the money. In the early morning, they didn't eat the breakfast. After a long time of working, maybe they feel very tired and then feel some sickness only. No big deal. Very soon she will recover.
But so they want to save. You said breakfast was like €1.
Not expensive, yeah.
But why?
But some of them they want to save more money.
They prefer no.
Is we don't need to judge people by the color, race, or religion they're from, because children are going to be children. They can't be raised to go to work every day in sweatshops and get no pay or little pay at all. That's why
holiday, they prefer continue working.
Or actually they prefer better wages. They don't prefer to work all the time, but
Oh, this is not reasonable request. This is not a good thinking. To work less, get more money.
The reason why it's important is because no child should endure any of the things that the children do endure while they're in these shops. It could be your kid, and just put yourself in those shoes. Having your child go into these shops and work from day in to day out, and just doing anything no children or no child should ever do, sweating, bleeding, losing limbs from accidents, none of these things should be endured in a little children's life.
Through an underground organization in China, we at last get the chance to interview some workers. We meet them one evening in a windowless room. We may film them, but we cannot show their faces fully. They work in the electronics industry, where working conditions are similar to those in the toy industry.
多少工作时间呢？加班
130、140。就是休息也要休息的嘛，你不可能天天加班，这样我们也受不了。即使再愿意加班的人也会受不了的。
如果你有多一些的工资的话，你会不会很在乎加班？想不想在家？
不想。
Lessons that we can take from these events is that no matter what age, what race, what ethnicity, what religion, it doesn't matter. You all deserve rights and don't deserve to be put in sweatshops. My heart goes out to the children in Asia who are still forced to work in sweatshop for hours on hours for little pay, such as like 40 cents an hour. Here in America, you're pretty fortunate with the minimum wage being $7.25, and I think you should take those things to heart. Santa's workshop is actually not a Santa's workshop. It's not as all that it's cracked out to be. In fact, it is torture, sweatshop, kids spending their Christmas days, the days following it, working to make Christmas toys such as stuffed teddy bears, trains, and such and whatnot. Stressing themselves out, tiring themselves. So make a decision now on whether you want these sweatshops and child labor to end today, and start making your efforts to end these terrible atrocities.
Let's go! Okay, let's do it. Champion of the ballot box, second term, 4 more years.
Recording some ish today.
The lessons that we can take from these events is that no matter what age, what race, what ethnicity, what religion, it doesn't matter. You all deserve rights and don't deserve to be put in sweatshops. My heart goes out to the children in Asia who are still forced to work in sweatshop for hours on hours for little pay, such as like 40 cents an hour. Here in America, you're pretty fortunate with the minimum wage being $7.25, and I think you should take those things to heart.
New achievement unlocked. Call me 44th Prez for the next 4. I pled my case during debates. I spat 16. The divided country gave me 8.